You're listening to the DVDfever Show, and now I have for you a review of Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning on 3D Blu-ray. Now this film had a lot riding on it. The Roland Emmerich original, in 1992, was a fantastic piece of entertaining nonsense. The 1999 sequel, Universal Soldier The Return, saw only Van Damme returning, and was typical of many sequels that just can't be bothered to think of a plot for themselves and just copy other films as well as their prequels. 10 years later, and then came Universal Soldier Regeneration, which promised the return of Dolph. Hurrah! Oh, hang on, he doesn't even turn up until the film's an hour old, and then is quickly dispatched within 20 minutes. What a misfire from John Hyams, son of Peter, who directed Van Damme in both Time Cop and Sudden Death. Flash forward to the present day, and in hoping Master Hyams has learned from his mistakes, we see family man John, Scott Adkins, waking up and going to investigate a noise downstairs, while telling his wife and daughter to go back to bed. On entering the kitchen, he finds not one but several behooded intruders, led by Luke Devereaux, Jean-Claude Van Damme, this time as a baddie uni-soldier. And they all beat him within an inch of his life, and then when he comes to, he sees Luke murder his wife and child in the process. Then cut to Andrew Scott, Dolph Lundgren, who was in a private club drinking with an escort girl, while Unisol Magnus, Andrei the Pitbull Arlovsky, returning from the previous film, albeit regenerated, is taken away from his handyman duties and sent to deal with him, even though he was dispatched in the last one. Again. So at this point you're thinking, yes, Dolph has turned up early on in this film, unlike the last one. Alas, while there's a great sequel to be made to the wonderful original, for the third time this isn't it, and John Hyams has missed the mark again. Because what you're then left with is around an hour of boredom, as John becomes drawn into investigating why some nasty murders are taking place, even though anyone who'd just come out of hospital after witnessing their family being murdered would most likely be taking it easy or seeking therapy. Now, there's a twist I won't divulge the details of, but which doesn't take an Einstein to figure out anyway. And apart from a car chase about an hour into the film, not only does this fail to work as an engaging action film, but it also fails in the 3D department. Yes, the car chase is pretty good for that, but everywhere else the 3D gives a bit of depth, but doesn't do a lot more. John Hyams really needs to watch the last two Resident Evil films if he wants a masterclass in crash bang wallop nonsense action in 3D. Neither of those films will win any Oscars anytime soon, but they are fun, they are entertaining, and director Paul W.S. Anderson knows what he is doing with 3D. So to Hyams and everyone else involved here, I'll spell it out for you, as you have clearly learned nothing along the way. Here's how to make an entertaining Universal Soldier sequel. Number 1. Give us Van Damme and Lundgren together from the start, battling for the whole film. That's it. I mean, how hard is it to make a series of action scenes with just the two of them? It doesn't really matter that they're both bad guys this time round, since them beating each other up is really what we've all tuned in to see. The only scene of note for a scene with Dolph, really, is a mere 3-minute fight scene with Scott Adkins. Then John moves on to have a fist and knife fight with Van Damme, who's wearing makeup to make him look like Baron Samedi from Live and Let Die. What the fuck? And as you may have gathered, Dolph and Van Damme never actually share screen time together in this film, unlike on the cover, making the whole thing redundant, as well as very overlong at 114 minutes. Hyams and co, you've been told. Please get it right next time. Presented in the original 2.35:1 theatrical ratio and in 1080p high definition, the picture is crisp and clear, portraying the action scenes very well, and as you will have gathered, I'd really recommend watching the 2D Blu-ray version, as the 3D just really doesn't cut it for this movie. As such, it loses a point there. The sound is in 5.1 DTS HD Master Audio, and when it needs to be loud, it's fine, such as in the car chase, but there's just not enough action, sadly, and so, score-wise, it has to lose out there too. There's also not a lot going on in the extras department. Just interviews, one piece from Van Damme, lasts about 3 minutes. It looks like he'd rather be somewhere else. And similarly short pieces from Dolph Lundgren, looking a bit happier to be there, and Scott Adkins. There's a longer one for about 11.5 minutes with John Hyams, but whichever way you cut it, the first three are way too brief to be of any use, while in the last one, Hyams talks in a rather monotonous drone, chipping in, it's something that will be embraced by a lot of new fans, as well as there are some fans of the originals that will not like this movie, because they just want something familiar. Yep, you said it. There's also a trailer, but that's it. So overall, the film, I'll give that 2 out of 10. Picture, 8. Sound, 7. Extras, 1 out of 10. Overall, 4 out of 10. So, I'd wait for them to get it right next time. Okay, so before the top 10 movie charts, we're going to have a bit of music, and this is a request from Leonie Lazenby. And it's Beth Hart and Joe Bonamassa singing Chocolate Jesus.